Hello there, good people. It's your girl Robin, and I am back with another session of Let's Talk Live. Yes, it is Wednesday, and I posted on Facebook. I joined the conversation, or as the kids say, I entered the chat as they were talking about should you stream or not stream. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And about one of the points that I made. So again, good afternoon, everybody. It is Robin, and I'm so excited to be on with you. Let me know in the comments that you are watching. Let me make sure that I can see. Yep, good. That I can see if you guys are on. Again, just say hello, shout me out, and let me know that you are on. And then make sure that you are of course, liking this video, that you've subscribed to my channel, and of course, even hit the alert that you will be notified when I go live. All right. All right, good. I'm just trying to make sure I got everything going right. Let's see here. All right, good stuff. So, of course, there's been all this ongoing conversation about a pastor that posted he was going to stop streaming. Now, one of my favorite pastors, Jay Patrick, he put a really good, he made a really good point on Facebook, and he said, just do what works for you. And I agree with that. Just do what works for you. So I am not on here trying to, state what you should do or shouldn't do, as the body of Christ. That's not what this is about. As I even stated last night, that I am doing work on discipling your virtual members. And so the conversation is near and dear to my heart because of that. I have not, though, finished my dissertation or anything like that, and haven't even done my research. So I am just, doing my Let's Talk Church and joining the conversation. So I'll stick with what I said that Pastor Jay Patrick put out there, that you need to do what works for you. But I wanted to just highlight the importance of understanding that there are two audiences now that we serve in ministry. So we have our in-person and we have our virtual members. And I know for some people, it's difficult to wrap their mind around a virtual member. Like if they don't live out of state, or if they are not confined, to their home or nursing home or the hospital, they're like, I'm not going to go all out, right, for a virtual member. But I disagree with that wholeheartedly. Times have changed, and our reality is that, virtual members are not visitors. Yep, write that down. Virtual members are not visitors. I've got my notes, so that's why I'm looking down. They are not people watching from home. I stream a lot of services. Well, not a lot, but I stream probably 3 or 4, each week. And I always get tickled when the pastor says to streaming land, they're making a comment to people out there in streaming land. They are not in streaming land. They are an online campus. They have shown up. They have prepared. I get tickled, I think about during COVID. Even before COVID, with my parents taking care of them, my mother was so serious about, I think my church at that time was, 10 a.m., whatever. And she would say, I am in church. Because I would say, you want breakfast? She said, you don't eat in church. So we have to recognize that for the end user, the experience that we create for them matters. One of my other clients that I've worked with at church, I love them. The pastor steps out and greets the online congregation every Sunday. And I love that. So you have to set up an expectation that we are prepared for our online viewers. All right. So that's the first point, that they are active congregants. Let me type that in the comments for you. Online viewers, let me spell it right. Viewers are active congregants. All right. So, oops, sorry, y'all. The other point that I want to make is that you have to create an environment for them so that they understand that they are a part of a congregation, right? That they are an online congregation member, even, how do you define that? Well, we all have our own ways of doing that. And I'm not going to go too deep into that. Again, like I said, because I am working on my doctorate. And so I haven't done my research yet. But you have to do what works for your church. But I do think you should put some work and effort into creating an environment where they understand that they are an online congregation. Now, let's talk about the difference in the two. There is a pastoral responsibility in shepherding that online audience. I said it last night on Facebook, that we have to create some sort of campus for them. So whether it is a digital pastor, it is a separate Zoom, there are all types of options. Again, I'm not recommending anything, but it is important, though, that you show up and do what works for your audience. And, how will you know what's best? Ask them. Ask them. Even outside of Sunday morning, how do you want to receive ministry? Because at the end of the day, it's important that they are identified as a member. And what's most important, again, I put that on Facebook this morning, is that we have one assignment, and that's discipleship. And so we have to have a way to ensure that we are, in fact, discipling them. So here's some questions I want you to think about. Who is worshiping with you weekly? Who's giving digitally? Who's requesting prayer via comments or inbox messages? Who is responding to altar calls in the chat? Who considers your church their spiritual home? Think about that. Those are all legitimate questions to help you identify who your online members are. And then, your in-person members, they have different rhythms and needs. For instance, they require physical fellowship, spontaneous interactions, even in the hallway, hands, on opportunities to serve as ushers, greeters, all of that, participation in worship through sensory involvement, and then, pastoral visibility and presence. They want the pastor to show up, right? Our virtual members are a little bit different. The spiritual experience that they expect. Now, my mother would tickle me when our pastor wasn't preaching. It mattered to her. She was old school, but I think the newer generation, they're a little bit more open because they worship, not only simultaneously when you go live, but a lot of them asynchronously watch service, which is what I do. I watch multiple services. I'm not members. I don't consider myself to be a member of those other churches that I watch. I watch them as I choose when I want to. So that's what, asynchronous means, right? And then the interaction. What type of interaction are you having with them while they're streaming? Again, just talking about shepherding in person versus virtual members, and getting them to go from just being online congregants to being virtual members. All right. And of course, it's important, as I said, that we figure out a discipleship model of community engagement. And even, do you do a pop-up in their area? How do you do that? Check your analytics. Where are people viewing your worship service from? When are people watching? What days are they watching? What are the demographics? How do you find all of that out? Facebook ads. You could figure out a way to move them off of your online stream. Most churches are streaming to social media, but a lot of churches are streaming to their websites. Get the analytics from your host, right? From your provider, your hosting company. They can give you all of that data. I said that yesterday, that data matters, right? You can't just decide because you like watching church on Sundays that is always the best time for your online audience. All right. So here are the pitfalls that you want to avoid as it relates to your online congregation. Making your online viewers, your online congregants feel unseen. Making them feel unheard. When they put stuff in the comments, you got to respond, right? And if they're giving you feedback, if you're soliciting feedback, it's very important that you respond and let them know that you appreciate that they have responded to your question and you're taking their feedback into consideration. Also, if you're not on and managing the chat, they feel ignored. So when you just pop on and ask for an offering, that is a quick way. That really happens in person. If they feel like you only really care about them during the offering period. Nope, we have to make sure that we are intentional about how we engage with them and making them feel as real congregants. How do we do that? Recognize that both groups count. So when you're meeting, having your ministry meetings, you should have somebody at the table that is representing your online congregation. Focus on the needs of both type of congregants, and then require community touch points for both congregants. All right. So just something I wanted to share just to kind of dot an I, cross a T to what I posted last night as it relates to the digital discipleship or to stream or not to stream. I was really the focus because I was responding to the conversation that was shared online. Thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out. I hope this helped you. Let me know. Again, I will respond to the comments. I thank you for watching, and your girl will be back on. Not sure if it'll be back on. I'll be back on tomorrow, but make sure again that you've subscribed, that we're connected so that you will get the notification when I do go live. And I did share an invite. I will be on tomorrow night teaching as a part of the General Baptist Convention of Virginia on radical hospitality and church growth. All right. You can get that information. It's absolutely free. It is sponsored by Lily Grant. So you can get the login information on any of my social media pages. All right. Take care and God bless.